Good day. The time is 3:16 and today is 29th May 2022 and I get up early in the morning always around 2 o'clock. Latest is 4 o'clock and that is my habit and I'll tell you why I do that. Okay, now first, we had two presentations and I told a lot about it. So, during our ancient times in Sri Lanka, we lived in the dry zone and wet zone was completely jungle. And you'll ask why? It's simple. And because dry zone, you don't get crop failures. And then people cultivated only one season, that is the mass season. And as the population the growth came after the coming of King Prince Vijay from North India, and Prince Vijay's father is from the current Bangladesh area. He spoke Bengali, and due to some reason, he went to the other side of India, and then when he got angry with his son and his friends, he sent them to Sri Lanka. So that's why they came to the Talaimana area, not to the Trinco. But our main contact with Bangladesh was always from Trincomalee Harbour. Because if you look at the map, you can see within 2 days, using sailing ships, you can go to Bangladesh. And they brought many things, and one is the Bengali language. And Bengali language became firmly embedded in our Hela language. So, and our Hela language became a huge language, and then it was called Sinhala language. Sinhala language. And if you go to Bangladesh, you'll find they eat rice with curry like we do, and then they eat, they talk a language that we can understand. Most of the words we can understand, because Bengali language, about 50% is Sanskrit, and all those Sanskrit words are embedded in our language. So there are three nations who are speaking a language similar to two more speaking a language similar to Sinhala, and one is actually in the Maldives. They actually got it from Sri Lanka, so they got the Sinhala language, whereas Bengali language is very similar to Sinhala language. For example, for medicine they call it Aushadha, and formal Sinhala we call it Aushadha because that is the Sanskrit word for medicine. And for a tree, the Sanskrit word is Vuksha, and our formal Sinhala also has Vuksha. So if you speak in formal Sinhala, they can understand. They have to speak with the Sanskrit words, they can understand. But if you speak Sinhala, they cannot understand, because Sinhala is a massive language and they cannot understand it. And whereas if you go to Bangladesh, if you listen carefully to what they talk, pick up the extra words that they have, like 50% is Sanskrit. So that's Sanskrit we don't have to understand. Again, we can understand it. But what you have to understand is the other words that they use. Then they can easily understand Bengali as well. And if you go to a airport in Bangladesh, you'll find these guys are speaking in Sinhala. But when you try to understand, some of the words are known, some of the words are not known. So you might not understand it fully, but you'll see, oh, why the hell these girls are speaking in Sinhala? It's not Sinhala, it's Bengali. So Bengali is spoken by more than 200 million people. So you have to see that Sinhala is one of the greatest, maybe the best or the biggest language in the world, and And one Indian language, well-developed Indian language, is a subset of Sinhala, because Sinhala came and then our gene got mixed, further improved, mixing with the North Indian gene. Early it had been South Indian and Persian, and now it is North Indian. Then 1505, Sri Lanka was, the coastal belt. Only the men came from Portugal, so Sri Lankan women mixed up with the Portuguese, and then Dutch. Only again mainly Dutch men came, so they all mixed up with our Sinhalese. So basically, we in our gene we may have South Indian gene, Persian gene, North Indian gene, then European Portuguese gene, and Dutch gene. So that's why in one family of 6, 7 kids, you can find some kids are European skin type, some are North Indian skin type, some are of the skin of Kerala people or our own people, what we generally have. But whatever the skin color, there's one special thing about our skin, and that it is full of melanin. You can stay under the sun 2 hours, it will become darker, it will become burnt, but you'll never get a skin cancer. And we have a drawback also. If a European skin is exposed to sun, within 5 minutes, all the vitamin D needed will be generated by the skin. Whereas in our case, we need at least 20 minutes exposure to generate the vitamin D. So there's a huge vitamin D deficiency in our current generations, and especially the kids. And when you don't have vitamin D, the body will find it difficult to absorb calcium. And when the calcium cannot be absorbed, you'll get brittle bones. So you can see most of the problems that our ladies face or kids face are man-made problems, and this is the reason for us those days to have school assembly under the sun, but today it's under the shade. It's a huge mistake, and we are very good in making mistakes. So we have a super gene, because once the racers mix, you get a huge uh, super gene, and the people of upcountry of Sri Lanka have less contaminated, and people of coastal belts have highly contaminated gene. So the people of coastal zones should be brilliant, should have higher brilliance than the people of upcountry. But when the upcountry, when a upcountry mother finds her daughter is trying to marry a person from what you call low country, they say, oh, don't marry that pathaya. The meaning is you are going to marry a person whose gene is contaminated. What they don't know is contaminated gene is the best, because that they can produce super brilliant kids, and that's what parents like to have. They don't like to have dumb kids. They like their kids to be brilliant and super brainy. But after getting super brainy kids, our parents do a huge mistake. They don't manage them well. So how do you manage? What you have to understand is we eat rice, and if you eat more rice than that you need to get the correct amount of energy. And one of the masters of telling you how the energy can be managed, how the amount of energy that can be managed in your food, you have to contact Dr. Narindi Silva, North 706 494973, North 7, North 6, 494973, or North 755 494973. So you might ask, did you look at any book or anything to tell the number? No, I mean, I can tell the telephone numbers of all the people whom I want to associate, call often. But others, if I don't want, I will not memorize. For example, if I want to contact Dr. Sujiwale, Professor Sujiwale, note 7, one, note 7, 153, sorry, if I want to contact our ISL member, Engineer Mangala Silva, not double seven, 3759400, and Dr. Sujiv Levan is not 715323239, and then if I want to contact whom else, Professor Udeni Nawagama, note 773595 177. So if I want to contact somebody and I want to memorize the number, I have no problem in doing that. My database is super. Then you'll ask, how to get a super database? And I'll tell you, you also have the same database, but the problem is you don't know that you have a super database. And my case, I know that I'm having a super database. So I make use of the database. In your case, you are ignorant, you don't make use of the super database. So then I'll tell you what we got wrong and what I got right. As a kid, I always ate rice, but I did not go for a huge meal. I went for an average meal as my breakfast, and then I would walk to Kottawa, and then take a bus, go to another college, and studied. And I got through A level because I did not go for tuition after February of 1981. I did A levels in 1980 August 1981. I am just I believe in myself, so I learned enough from the tuition master school. I went for school every day until the last day, but I did not go for tuition classes except for chemistry because we had a small mess with one of the teachers who did not know enough to teach us chemistry. So, but she became in charge of our class. So we had a fight, and I created the fight, and then finally we got rid of her. Then we did not have a regular teacher, so it was an utter mess at Ananda College for our chemistry. Otherwise, when you go to Ananda College, you hardly need to go for any tuition. Those days, you can go for a little bit of tuition initially just to get to the track. After that, you can do self studies and get through A level easily because the atmosphere is so good. So then again I came to university. I got up every day, 4 o'clock or 4:30, depending on the amount of work. And our family, those days, my father and mother get up 4 o'clock every day, and they will cook and for us. And what I do is, my father used to help mother scraping coconut and bringing water. We did not have tap water because our well did not have enough water to install pumps because it was a fairly deep well, and the moment you pump more, you will not have any water. So we had to bring water ourselves in buckets. We were in a half-acre land, so our well was in front of our house. So we all had to use water very carefully because if you even with one family using it, it was if you overuse it. During April, you might not have any water, so we had to then go to my great grandmother's well, which is little away. About you had to walk about, I would say, 100, 200 meters because my grandmother had huge lands, and the half-acre land that we lived was the land given to my grandmother by the great grandmother. So I would get up early and do all the courseworks, everything myself. And everybody now batch knows if there's any problem, you just talk to Thishan. He has always done the coursework himself. He has never copied. So the reason is when I go for an experiment, I know most of those experiments are utterly useless ones. So I'll speak to the instructor and get all the details. Then in the next presentation, I'll tell you how to adjust the diet so that we can live healthy and wealthy.